Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Financial Tidbits here with me, Royston at NAOF. Today's topic is on robo-advisors, specifically on the OCBC Roboinvest platform, where I will show you guys how I invested in the worst performing thematic portfolio that the OCBC Roboinvest platform has to offer, but yet still generated a return over 10% on a year-to-date basis.
Oh, really?
But before I do that, I wanted to touch a little on a Straits Times article that was published just a couple of days back, highlighting that investors over the age of 50 are now more receptive to robo-advisors. Robo-advisors generally appeal more to younger investors who I would say are more digitally savvy and probably more adventurous when it comes to investing, versus the older generations who are probably more risk averse and still wish to stick to the traditional medium of investing their money into fixed deposits offered by banks. Two events are happening right now which is encouraging the older folks to partake in the robo-advisory industry. One is the known fact that interest rates are on a decline at an all-time low, and putting one's cash into fixed deposit or high interest savings account is just not going to cut it. I was notified by my insurance company Great Eastern that they are cutting the non-guaranteed interest portion for my savings policy by a good 50 basis points. The same goes with your high interest savings account, which they entice you with high annual rates to get you to part with your cash. But those high rates are in fact transitory. Yes, just like what the Fed made out inflation to be. I think it is just a waste of time to find the best savings account because those without any lock-ins are just not going to last. The second event that is encouraging more users to try out robo-advisory platform is that they are easily accessible through their mobile platform and also have a low barrier of entry in terms of minimum investable amount. That allows the older generation who are not familiar with robo-advisors to get started easily with an easy to set up account opening process and a few clicks of a button to get started investing immediately. In that article, OCBC Roboinvest highlighted that people over 50 who invested money into their robo-advisor portfolios grew by 300% year on year, with an average investment amount of $6,000. The most popular portfolio among all the thematic portfolios being offered by OCBC Roboinvest is the Future World portfolio that covers themes such as automation, cybersecurity, and sustainable solutions. This is a portfolio of ETFs that invest into 5 key ETFs with different themes. The largest holding is into Invesco Water Resources ETF with the ticker PHO. Some of the ETF's top holdings are Waters Corp, Danaher Corp, and Robo Technologies. The second ETF is the ARK Next Generation Internet ETF with the ticker ARKW. This is one of Katie Wood's most popular family of growth ETFs, with its top 3 holdings being Tesla, Shopify, and Twitter. The third ETF is the iShares Automation and Robotics UCITS ETF with the ticker RBOT. Its top 3 holdings are Splunk, Nvidia, and AMD. The fourth ETF is another Katie's Wood fund, the ARK Genomic Revolution ETF, ticker ARKG, whose top holdings are Teladoc Health, Exact Sciences, and Pacific Biosciences. The last ETF that the Future World portfolio holds is the Cybersecurity ETF with the ticker HACK that invests in cybersecurity firms, with its top 3 holdings being KnowBe4, Cisco, and Cloudflare. The main issue that I have with investing in a thematic portfolio such as the Future World portfolio is that one will need to pay at least 2 layers of fees. First is the expense ratio incurred by the individual ETFs, which averages about 0.6 to 0.8%. Next is the platform fees that OCBC Roboinvest charges, which amounts to 0.88% per annum. The total annual fees when investing in this particular portfolio will be approximately 1.6%. Not a major issue if the portfolio can continue to churn out double-digit returns year after year, but of course, there's no guarantee in both current as well as future world of investing. No pun intended. I prefer to select a thematic portfolio that invests directly into individual stocks so that I do not have to pay the expense ratio incurred for ETF investing. Unfortunately, I chose the one which is the worst performer among OCBC's 28 thematic portfolios on a year-to-date basis. I selected to invest in its cloud computing portfolio. This is a portfolio that invests in individual stocks counters with some association to cloud computing. Note that this particular portfolio buys into individual stocks as compared to the majority of its thematic portfolios which purchases ETFs. Hence, no expense ratio is incurred for this portfolio. Some of the key names in this portfolio include stocks like Zendesk, Avalara, Coupa, etc. Note that there are plenty of small cap tech counters which are a lot more volatile than your typical blue chip tech stocks. This explains the substantial volatility of this particular portfolio. While it has been the best performer over the past 5 years, it is the worst performer on a year-to-date basis. I've compiled the first 4 months performances of all the thematic portfolios provided by OCBC Roboinvest in 2021, and the cloud computing portfolio generated a negative return of 9.7% during this particular period. The top performer has been the US financials with returns of 35.4%, followed by mainland Europe financials with returns of 27.1%, and its resurgent industrials portfolio rounding up the top 3 with a return of 26.3% from January to end April 2021. There are several reasons why I believe the portfolio performed poorly. First, the counters in this portfolio are your smaller cap tech names which have seen a larger magnitude of price drawdown over the past months. Second, the quarterly rebalancing of the portfolio could result in selling winners too early and keeping on to the losers. Nonetheless, my cloud computing portfolio did reasonably well in the same period from January to end of April, generating a time-weighted return of approximately 0% versus the close to 10% drawdown in the cloud computing portfolio. First, I dollar cost averaged into the portfolio when it was beaten down in March 2021, and second, I chose not to rebalance the portfolio when it was time for the quarterly rebalancing. Thus, I continued to hold on to some of my winners such as Microsoft and PayPal, which would have been sold off during the rebalancing. 2 crystal ball worthy moves. All in all, I would say the OCBC Roboinvest provides an easy way to partake in thematic investing, but as one can see, I would say its investing methodology might not be everyone's cup of tea. The fact that it does not provide fractional investing is also a potential problem for investors starting with a small investing account. With that, we have come to the end of today's investing tidbits. For Singaporean investors looking to partake in thematic robo-investing, I hope that I've provided you with some insights on the OCBC Roboinvest platform and how its 28 thematic portfolios have performed so far in the first 5 months of 2021. If you enjoyed this video, once again, do hit the like button and subscribe to the NAOF YouTube channel. This is Royston, signing out.